I think I have grown a lot in this. I know initially it definitely did come from a place of um, imposter syndrome. I don't know if I ever like called it imposter syndrome, but like some of the things that I am now aware of when it comes to that, it definitely was something I was experiencing. Being young in my career, I think played a huge role. So just being new and just feeling like, well, I have to do all of these things that I'm being asked to do and more if I want to be seen as worthy of even having this job. Because who am I to be like a young 23, 24-year-old in some of the roles I had with not really very much, hardly any like career experience and hardly any life experience compared to what some of my coworkers had and the people that I was working with and the people that I was counseling, or the programs that I was working with people who had different life experience than me. So I felt I had to like compensate even more over to like to compensate for not having that experience myself. So some of that is like the background of why I experienced what I experienced and why I ended up in this position of like being the go-to person for everything. And it happened very quickly because it was just how I like initially presented myself. So to your point, Liz, like training everyone to be like, well, she will definitely do it. Like she'll do it well if you ask her to do it. Like, so it just became a thing where I was being asked to do all this stuff. And like, I just didn't have the skills or really I guess the like hard and soft skills of being able to say no, because it's both. It's, the actual, like, how do you verbalize in the moment? How do you actually speak that to someone? That's really hard to do for some people. And then it's also like, how do I internally process my feelings of not being good enough or not being as good at the job or not being worthy of having that job in the first place and all of that. So it's like the both. And I think it was a matter of having to do the small like retraining of people, and that was a good way to start. And then at the same time working on it was helpful to have you to talk to. I think like it isn't even something I even realized I was doing like until I talked to you. So like part of it is like you might be hearing this and not even thinking that you are in that position because it's just what you do. Yeah. And it's like you've seen it for your whole life. So like you've always seen people who, especially women, I know we struggle with this because we are having to constantly prove that we deserve a seat at whatever table, especially in certain careers. It's even worse. So I know that I always saw that, like the successful women I knew, it was like they had to do they had to say yes to everything. Like I never saw anyone saying no. So like I was like, that's just how it is. It's just normal. I mean, I'm going to be burnt out forever. That's like how it felt. So, I mean, I don't know. Like it's kind of like a matter of having someone just have to set you straight a little bit. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be like that. Also, this isn't normal and this isn't good for you and this isn't sustainable. So like part of it was being called out, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I would have just kept doing that and would still
be. And when I think back, I feel like for you, you could see what people were doing, but you didn't see your role in it.